I have a quick question about definition. Would you define constitutional policing? It's a subject that comes up continually, and I think I'd like to hear what your definition is.
Sure. Well, I can tell you what we think it's not, okay? And I'll share a bit of a story. You know, we in DC convene police officials from all over the country and different components within DOJ try and gather best practices from around the country. And so often the community-oriented policing service or the Office of Justice Programs convenes law enforcement professionals and executives. And this question was posed to them. And it was interesting what their reaction was. Some of these police chiefs said, you know, if I go back to my police department and I start talking about constitutional policing, some of my officers are going to interpret that to mean, where is the line between unconstitutional conduct and constitutional, and how far can I get to it without crossing the line, right?
On their part.
Well, this was something that police chiefs shared about their own officers, right? That when you raise sort of that question in the abstract, what is constitutional policing? Some officers will interpret that to mean, where is the line and how close can I get to it? The way we use constitutional policing in our agreements, where we're reforming policies and practices, is we ask what is required by the Constitution and what is required to gain the trust and confidence of the community that is served by the police department. And so it's not looking for the line, it's looking to raise the bar. It's looking at different ways of doing things that don't just say it's lawful or unlawful, but it's also going to engender greater trust with the community. One example, and you know, I was invited to participate in the Northeast CPC recently, and a lieutenant from the Internal Affairs Division gave a presentation on the new use of force policy. I thought she did a great job of highlighting the main changes that were made in the use of force policy. But what she made clear was that APD, you know, the Constitution requires certain things, but APD was going above and beyond that because they knew that those things were necessary and they needed to be part of their policy. Things like shooting at cars, prohibiting shooting at cars unless, you know, the vehicle is being used as a deadly weapon and people are endangered at that moment. So the city itself recognizes that constitutional policing means more than just where's the line and how close can I get to it. It means something more. It means that you're trying to build trust with your community.
Thanks.
Well, we'll back here and then I'll come up front.
Okay. Mary Somerville, these United States of America. A constitutional law enforcement, a constitutional policing is getting permission from the state to enforce the Constitution and protect the people. You must go through the proper change, which means you must have an oath of office, it must be filed in the county clerk's office, and you must provide a surety bond. I am a constitutional law enforcement officer in the state of New Mexico. My documents, my oath of office, this is what it takes to be a constitutional law enforcement. Now, the city of Albuquerque, under the Constitution, they're authorized patrol. Patrol is not law enforcement, it is patrol ordinance enforcement. To do law enforcement, you must be enforcing a law, not a statute. Supreme Court has ruled numerously, a statute is not a law. We have all pledged our allegiance under a law called the Constitution. You've all agreed to support, defend, protect, to assure that your citizens, whether they be criminals, that they are all innocent. So a law enforcement officer must protect all, for he is not allowed to use deadly force. For the state of New Mexico has ruled several times, if a law enforcement officer uses deadly force, they must be brought and tried before the people and adjudicated through the proper mechanisms. I have been a constitutional law enforcement officer for over 10 years, and I have done everything within my powers to protect the people and to protect our Constitution. And so I just want to leave it with that. I just wanted to make clear, since no one knew what a constitutional law enforcement officer, then you must go to a person who's actually become one who has already been certified throughout the country as one. And so I believe that, again, the answer to our problems here is that we must have the oversight committee, instead of pretending to be policing, which would actually violate the law because you're attempting to say that you're police. You're not policing unless you're a police. So you, in order to have a police committee, you must be law enforcement. You must file your documents in the county clerk. And only then can a law enforcement officer take the jurisdiction of a patrolman and hold them guilty. It is not the judge, it is not the district attorney that convenes the court. It is a grand jury of the people. And it's the people's rights to indict and to hold the grand jury and to hold their elected officials accountable, which our corporation, under constitutional law enforcement, again, law enforcement, we go after elected officials, appointed officials, and employees who violate our Constitution.
Question, sir. Do you have a question?
No, as I said, that
Okay.
was all I had to say. I just wanted to make reference so
Okay.
everyone knew what it was.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think there's a question here in a second.